Hey, greetings, Mount Sinai family and friends. I wanted to jump on during our financial fast and give you a little bit more insight and perspective of how you ought to be dealing with this. And this week's video will focus on renewing your mind. If you can remember from Sunday's sermon, the three ways, the three remedies, or dealing with the lack of financial literacy training that you and I was avoided of because of our foreparents, church leaders, educational system, and the economic structure of which we live in this country of America, is renewing your mind, rethinking our perspective about money. And so this week, as you meditate on the various daily verses, as you review the sermon, as you go into your sermon-based small groups, as you prepare for Sunday, and maybe you read one of the suggested books. We have each week, we're going to give you 7 different books on finances to help you navigate through the various areas. Be on the lookout for that, for the announcements on Sunday. We want you, dear Christian friend, to renew your mind. Remember, we looked at Romans chapter 12, verses 1 and 2. There, the Apostle Paul tells the saints of God in that transition from doctrine to duty, from that which is philosophical to that which is practical, to how to live out their faith. He wants them to understand that to be a living sacrifice before God, a willing sacrifice, not to be forced there, but to be there willingly. And how do you do that? Verse number 2 is not to be conformed to this world, not to be shaped in your way of thinking. So just use these days to ensure that you are not buying any luxury items, anything that is not of necessity, to make sure that you're minimizing your expenses, even with your necessities, as it relates to eating, as it relates to your necessities as far as clothing and things of that nature. I don't want to structure that too much for you, but then I want you to also turn the corner and look in ways that you could be investing, blue chip stocks, checking out how your 401k is doing, how you can maybe maneuver and shake those things, maxim out your IRA if that's where you're going. Look into UILs and other opportunities, and we'll give you books and resources that goes into detail about that. Read a book, not just read a book, but how about a podcast? How about an interview on money? Just go to YouTube and make that search. Go into your web browser and go to Google or some other search engine and search on that subject of where you think you should be. On our Financial Friday, our dear brother Tyrone will talk to us about budgeting. We want to just inundate you with information bit by bit, piece by piece, so that we can renew our mind. And don't forget during this time to increase your giving. That's another way to discipline yourself during this financial fast. We know that as it relates to giving, you ought not ever do that out of compulsion, or don't do that because I'm telling you to do that. Do that out of a heart that's flowing from gratitude, that you're able to expand on your perspective as it relates to money. If you're giving more, if you're saving more, it makes your perspective different as opposed to spending. And so any way you can cut costs during these 21 days, you ought to do it. Any way you can save and invest, you ought to do it. Any way you can give and share, you ought to do it during these 21 days. And my hope is that this will become a daily, a regular habit, a regular part of your nuance, your intellectual nuance as it relates to dealing with fiscal resources. Listen, we're on this journey with you. Don't be discouraged. Don't feel that you are alone. We can be where we need to be as it relates to financial freedom, as it relates to creating generational wealth, as it relates to raising our children with a sense of understanding of how important it is to be prudent as it relates to your finances. I know I want to do that with mine. I know that you ought to want to do that with yours. And I know that we ought to expand that into our every area of our influence, be it work, job, and definitely in the construct of church. God bless you. We're praying for you. We miss you. We love you. And we look forward to sharing God's word with you on Sunday and also giving you the tools to make it with joy through this 21-day financial fast. Peace.